No, it's bad. There was in the disco era, so we're sticking right now, obviously, with terrible songs. In the disco era, there was this disc jockey named Rick Dees. And then he went on later to host American Top 40 after Casey Kasem left for Ancient History for Old People. He thought it would be hilarious to make this really terrible disco song. Kind of in his, like, I hate disco, disco's terrible, but I'm going to make a disco song as a big joke.
Yeah.
So he made this song called Disco Duck, and it is deeply terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, and he knew it was terrible. He intentionally made it terrible.
Yeah.
It was a huge hit.
It's so funny.
And so he then had to tour and go on different shows and perform this god-awful song.
No.
So it kind of bit him in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, he made some money on it.
Sure.
But at the same time, he then had to go on, like, American Bandstand and other songs and perform
I would have just said,
Disco Duck.
no. You can't make me.
But I think maybe, and I don't know, contractually, probably when someone's like, all right, I'll give you a record deal, but
you gotta go.
You gotta go. Because I'm sure he didn't have enough money to produce a record back then.
Yeah.
Because back then, there was so much to it. It was so expensive to produce a record. So not anybody could just come in and... It's not like it is now.
No.
Where you could just go in your room and record something or
on
whatever.
Your phone.
On your phone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the next superstar.
Aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That, amazingly enough, I'm always amazed when it happens when we get to the end of an hour and it's like, oh, our hour's up.
Do you have a drag story?
I don't, because our hour's up, and and I actually didn't think of one today. Okay. Although I'm sure I have lots that would fit into the music, because what do you do in drag but perform music?
Sure. There's just like one little thing I want to say.
What's that?
And it is like a super happy note, but it's going to be okay. It's not what we talked about in the beginning of the podcast with like mass shootings, school shootings. What happened in Texas is not unusual. But the circumstances are not obviously great. This town is 50 miles from the Mexican border. So there is a potential that a lot of these parents and family members could be undocumented. And so it adds another layer of terror and dimension. Yeah. Right? So this is trigger warning. They have to use DNA testing to figure out who the children are.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to let you think about why that is. And so these parents are already terrified. Some of them could be undocumented. They don't know who their children... You know what I mean? Initially, they didn't know who the children were or who the people were. So I want people to think about that. The world is changing, and the world is being very scary right now, with legislation being passed, with talks of repealing Roe v. Wade, and what that could be the start of, with school shootings now that kids are back in school are on the rise again. And you know what I mean? Like adding the layer of being undocumented or being indigenous or being of color. I guess my point is like, it is very scary, but we can't stop fighting for what's right and what's just.
Which is why you have to vote.
You have to vote.
Which is why you have to call your legislators, call your senators. Those numbers are easily available. Mm-hmm. Call them. Tell them you want gun reform.
Tell them you want gun reform? Yeah, and, like, that's the beginning. But there's so much. And, like, I know the past, like, 5 years have been scary. There's the protests. Trump was president. Like, it's a lot. But we can't stop because of what happens if we lose. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, anyway, we can do it. We've done it before. You know what I mean? It's not a fun time, but just hug your people, love your people, be better, do better, and stand up to hate. That's all. Well, anyway.
On that note.
Happiness.
We're going to get the hell up out of here. Mm-hmm. I am going to remind you to like, share, subscribe our podcast, which we do every week on this day. And which, if you're not listening to it on this day, I guess you wouldn't know what this day is. We do it every Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Unless one of us is dying, like Miss Annika was a few weeks ago.
True.
So, but we're all good now. We've been sick, and now we're on the mend. But we're here every Wednesday. If you like what you heard, then send us a note. Tell us at itwouldseemasthough@gmail.com. And if you hated it, if you're mad at us, you think anything we said was bullshit, tell us that too.
I also think you should, if you hate it, share it and tell everyone like how much you hated it.
Right. Tell everyone how horrible we are, and then we're a bunch of radical queer bitches.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
I'm about it.
But we do want you to listen and come back next week, and we will talk about more things. Because what? Because tangents are
topics, girl. Okay. Bye.
Bye. God damn it, I did it again. That's not the right one.
Like
Although
I said,
we do deserve applause, for heaven's
like
sake.
I said, tech
What
savvy.
is my problem?
Drinking.
God. For real this time. Bye.
It would seem as though